Merry Christmas! We went tubing in Snoqualmie. Snoqualmie tubing at the summit. So we left Seattle and it was kind of a cloudy, rainy day, and it was this drive into the mountains, like a very sudden start and stop for the snow. And so I just kind of drove into a winter wonderland. They've built the sled runs down on a hill.
Yeah, the run is about maybe 100 yards. It's pretty steep, you get good speed going.
And then when you get off at the end, you go over and there's a conveyor belt that takes you, the kids, the tube, everything back up the hill.
It's kind of the poor man's version of a ski lift, so a lot less complicated. You don't have to worry about kids tripping and stuff like that, and it takes your tube up, or you can just walk up the side. The good part about the tube is that you can stick your kid in the tube and you make the check up, and then you go back up at the top of the mountain. So the way to do it is don't worry about being super on time, because that's when the crowd is. Everyone goes right away, but about maybe halfway or half an hour in, it starts to thin out. Like the people with little kids, they get tired, or they just decide they don't want to do as much, or more people start going up the conveyor belt. And so if you walk up, you get more runs, and there's just less people at the top. There are more people at the bottom than there are at the top. And pretty much 3/4 of the way through, you can just go all the time. There's no lines anymore. Everyone's pretty much done. So that's the secret way to do it, is don't worry about it at the beginning. Just wait till the end, and then you can just go all the time. And the 2-hour spot is really good for little kids. Like both of our kids, 4 and 6, were pretty tired at 2 hours. So it finished up right before they got cranky, which is the best time to go home.
Afterwards, we went over to a little hut that they had and got warmed up and had some hot chocolate and some orange juice to kind of revive ourselves before getting in the car and having a beautiful drive home. We went to the Point Defiance Zoo and Aquarium with the grandparents and the aunt and uncle. Nice. We've had a zoo membership at the Seattle Zoo for a few years now. This one was very different. I loved that there's an aquarium attached to it. You get the zoo and the aquarium for one admission fee. We got to see the shark feeding, which was a lot of fun. And they have a touch tank.
That the aquarium isn't enough to make it its own aquarium, and the zoo isn't quite enough to make it its own zoo. But when you put them together, it's a full day.
It's a zoo-aquarium. Zoo-aquarium!
The enclosures are all really well done. Most of the animals were out. You see a lot of them. The trail through the zoo is quite good. There are a bunch of nifty spots where you can stop and the kids can play, and there's like a playground or something to climb on or something like that. So it gives the little kids a chance to burn out some energy before they just go and watch lots of things again.
I think I really enjoyed the walruses. It was really interesting to watch them swim.
There was a tiger that was just kind of out in the middle sunning himself.
Oh, yeah.
And then went around the corner and there's another one who was growling.
It was a nice, beautiful park. The zoo was great. We went to see the Jim Henson exhibit at the MoPop.
Who's Jim Henson?
All things, lots of other fun things in that realm of stuff.
Jim Henson is most famous for his puppetry.
I wish I had puppets right now.
He created things like the Muppets, Labyrinth, The Dark Crystal. He paired up with Frank Oz, who later on went to do stuff like Yoda. From the beginning, early before he was even doing puppets, through the end when he was a big star and a well-known name, was really cool.
His heart was for creation and for always moving forward and never accepting no and never accepting that something couldn't be done.
In the beginning, he just wanted to be in TV, and somebody hired him for a puppetry gig, so he went to the local library and checked out books about Russian puppetry and stuff like that. Like, he didn't know how to be a really good puppeteer or make puppets until after he got the job of puppetry, and then discovered it was something that he really liked doing and was really good at.
I was fascinated by how difficult puppetry is. When they're filming for TV, these people's arms are above their head the whole time, and you could have 3 different people back then working on the same puppets. And just to think about how exhausting, physically exhausting, that would be to work their way through all of that.
So the last thing we did was something distinctly Seattle. We went to see Diagon Alley in a small neighborhood in Seattle.
It was a father and his kids talking about something fun to do for Halloween, and specifically how to get more trick-or-treaters to come to their house.
He put in notice at his job to start building it, got his friends to come over and build it. It's just on the side of his house, takes up his driveway. It's about 20 feet long, but it's a pretty neat experience, and it's definitely something
so well done.
You could tell it was a passion project. Like, his kids like Harry Potter, he likes Harry Potter. It was originally for Halloween, but they kept it. It was so popular, just people coming by. They put out a collection box for a charity. They did some Christmas events. They had a Dumbledore Santa show up.
Yeah. There was snow. They figured out a way to make snow.
They had a snow machine in there. And now it's about to be taken down, but they're auctioning off some of the bigger structures and giving the proceeds to charity. So it was a really neat experience. Definitely something unique that only appears in a city like Seattle.